Hey guys, how's it going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to take a look at a theme loadout inspired by the New South Wales Tactical Operations Unit. This unit has been in the headlines recently for their involvement in the Sydney Lind Cafe siege, so I thought I'd make this video as a way of giving them a bit of recognition for the work that they do. If you're new to my channel or you haven't seen one of my loadout videos before, well basically this series is all about BF4 setups themed on real world units. If you'd like to suggest a theme for my next video, then feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Chances are, if it's accurate and unique, then I just might give it a go. But anyway, the Tactical Operations Unit, or TOU, is basically the SWAT team of the New South Wales Police Force. It was first established in 1991 to take on specifically counter-terrorism and other high-risk law enforcement duties. The TOU is made up of 75 officers which are trained to the level of many military special forces units, with a focus on the safe resolution of high-risk incidents. The selection process for the unit is only open to officers with several years' experience and requires applicants to pass a number of physical and mental assessments. The Tactical Operations Unit is probably currently best known for the recent Sydney Lind Cafe siege, which resulted in the tragic deaths of 2 hostages and the gunman, Man Harron Monis. On the 15th of December 2014, the gunman entered the Lind Cafe in Martin Place, Sydney, which began a 16-hour standoff involving 18 hostages. At just after 2 AM on the 16th of December, gunshots were heard from the cafe which prompted the TOU to assault the building. The siege was resolved after only 39 seconds, but sadly resulted in the deaths of Katrina Dawson, Tori Johnson, and 4 other non-fatal injuries. The Sydney siege may be the most recent high-profile incident the TOU has resolved, but it's important to remember that this is something SWAT teams deal with around the world on a regular basis. The TOU are on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and are required to put their lives on the line for the sake of others. Safely resolving domestic terrorism and other high-risk incidents is probably the most difficult job that any military or police force can undertake. For this reason, I think the New South Wales Tactical Operations Unit and other similar units around the world deserve our respect for kicking down the doors no one else wants to kick. But anyway, in my loadout I'm running the UMP-45 with the EOTech sight, vert grip and the tac light, as well as the G18 pistol with no attachments. The TOU actually uses the UMP-40 variant, and the standard sidearm of the New South Wales Police Force is actually the Glock 22, but I think this setup was about as accurate as I could get in-game. To round out this loadout, I tried to run the engineer gadgets that didn't revolve around explosives, so I ended up choosing the EOD bot and the decoy. I also ran with the flashbangs, which played a pretty big role in the Lind Cafe siege and are a nice non-lethal alternative to most of the other grenade choices. So how did this loadout perform in-game? Well, I've got to say, not really that well. The EOD bot and the decoy for a start are probably 2 of the least useful gadgets in-game, and I figured out pretty quickly it wasn't worth using them at all. As for the UMP and the G18, well the UMP is pretty average, but with this set of attachments, it's probably not as good as it could be. The G18 on the other hand, I feel would be more effective thrown at enemies because at anything beyond point blank range, it just feels ridiculously inaccurate. Getting back to the UMP though, I think the main reason I can't get used to this gun is because it doesn't really have its own niche among the other weapons in game. Unlike most PDWs, it doesn't really have a stunning time to kill at close range, and getting out beyond 25 meters, things start to get really bad. The other problem with the UMP is that it's really not that accurate compared to other guns either, except when fired from the hip. As well as this, it's only got a capacity of 26 rounds, so there was more than a few times where I literally fired a whole mag at a guy and he still survived. So bearing all of this in mind, if I could, what would I change about this loadout and why? Well, I think if you really wanted to run with the UMP and not a carbine, I'd probably run it with the stubby grip and the heavy barrel to get a bit more accuracy out of it. The G18, I'd definitely switch out for the 93R because in contrast, the Beretta is definitely a better gun than the Glock in almost every respect. As for the gadgets, well I think I'd switch these out too. So let's just say as a theme loadout this setup is fine, but as an effective loadout in game, maybe not so good. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this setup, so let me know what you think and feel free to suggest a theme for next week's episode. As always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And if you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. But until next time, see you later and have a good one.